Hello everybody, I hope everyone is doing well and welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a full face of first impressions. I have a lot of new goodies here sitting in front of me. A majority of the products are new to the market and just a few of them are just new to me. So I know these videos are usually on the longer side, so let's just get to it. But before we do so, I would love for you to subscribe if you aren't already. It means so much to me and let's do this. This headband is ridiculous, but it's the only one that's not covered in bronzer. I have a variety of base products to test out this month. I received the new Water Tone Skin Perfecting Tint from Makeup Forever. They sent this very generous PR box. Excited to try that, so that's an option. And I also received this exciting collection from NYX. It's the new Total Control Pro Drop Foundations with the hue shifters. Such an interesting collection and perfect if you are a working makeup artist. I would have loved to have these in my makeup artist kit when I was a working makeup artist. And I also have this from NARS. It's the Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturizers. I have 3 shades here. This isn't a new product. They just revamped the shade range, I believe. So I think I'm most excited about the NYX Total Control drops today, just because this whole idea is really cool and seems fun to play with. I'm happy with this route. It's the one I'm most intrigued by today. They previously had the Total Control Drop Foundation, but this is the Pro version. I'll take a photo of this entire info card and put it on screen so you can pause to read it, because that's a lot of words for me to read out. But it's really cool. They came out with the base foundations, which are these right here, normal foundations. And then they also launched some illuminators, which you can use alone, or you can mix into the foundation to give it more glow. And they also came out with the hue shifters, which aren't like foundations. They're super liquidy. And you add these in if your foundation is too pink, you add in the yellow one to make it more of a golden undertone. And if your foundation is too neutral or golden, you can add this to make it pinker. And if you need to deepen it up, you can use this. And if you need to lighten it, you can of course use this. So this is a super handy collection to have if you struggle with finding your right foundation shade, or if you're a working makeup artist. This is really nice to have in your kit, because it isn't really feasible to have like 40 different foundations in your one kit. That's very heavy and it takes up way too much space. So these are incredible to have in there to mix up a right foundation shade. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick a base shade and then I'll mix up a few options here so you can see it visually. I used to be a huge fan of the original formula like this, so I'm excited to revisit it, see if it reminds me of what I remember from the last one. We'll see. This is the shade Natural, I think 7. I'm going to apply 5 drops of this foundation on my hand, and then I'm going to apply a drop of each of these so you can see the differences from just one shade of foundation. Okay, so here is the palette with the one foundation as the tester. So here is the foundation on its own. Here's the foundation with a drop of the lightener, the white bottle. And here it is with a drop of the deepening shade. Here it is with the yellow hue shifter, and here's with the red hue shifter. So you can see it actually works very well. This is definitely more dramatic than it actually would be, but I just wanted to show you what it actually looks like. So interesting. I kind of feel like this shade looks really similar to my natural skin tone, so I'm gonna do a little test swatch. The Total Drop Foundation is on the more liquidy thin side. Packs a lot of coverage, but I think it's a little bit on the light side. So I'm gonna add some of the deepening color. Let's see how this goes. This is what it looks like. It's very liquidy. It almost looks like ink, and it's a very different consistency than the foundation. Here you can see before I mix it up. See, it's like pretty much ink. Hopefully that will be better. I feel like that will be. Oh yeah, perfect match. This is such an interesting foundation because it's so thin, but it has so much coverage to it. It's crazy, and it blends very effortlessly. Now that that's everywhere, I feel like I could have gone for another drop of the deepening shade. It does look a little bit light and maybe a touch pink for my undertone, but that's good to know for next time. It looks like it's going to be quite glowy, but when it's on your skin, it looks like a velvety finish. like a soft matte vibe, almost like the Fenty Beauty Ease Drops, maybe just a touch more velvety. So I'm just going to go over everything with this sponge. This one is from Quo Beauty. Just to remove any brush strokes left from the brush, if there are any. It looks like what I remember, very smoothing and just lovely. I'll bring you guys in so you can see. I'm gonna build it up in this area just so we can see how that does. Lovely. Okay, let's see how this wears and reacts with these other products. I sadly don't have a new concealer, so I'm going to conceal with my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in the shade Light Sand. For my powder, I'm going to be using this one from NARS. It's the Translucent Crystal Light Reflecting Setting Powder. I've never tried this one. I don't believe this is new. So let's open it up. Let's see what it does with this concealer. The sifter is very, oh no, I was just gonna kind of lightly tip it over, but it's such a slippery powder that it spilt all over my sleeve. Feels very finely milled from what I can feel. So let's see what it does with this concealer. The sifter is quite open, so a lot of the powder comes out, which can lead in disasters, as we all just saw. I'm just gonna take this eyeshadow brush and apply it under here. I do have a dry patch under my eye here, so it doesn't look very smooth on that side, but let's see on this one. Do I have a dry patch, or is that just reacting funny? It almost like dehydrated my concealer under there and made it like crumple up. Let's see what it looks like on my forehead. Very blurring up there, like no texture at all anymore. Whoa, very, very soft. It feels like unmoisturized skin. How interesting. I'm not sure about that under the eye, how it did that weird thing with my concealer right here. Wonder if you can see it, just like curdled it almost and set it down there. But on my face, it looks nice. I'm also going to add some right in the center here. Yeah, that is ultra blurring, like probably one of the most blurring powders I've tried. Like I do feel like I set my face, so when I move it around, I can kind of feel like a tightening sensation, which isn't my favorite. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on this powder. Now for bronzer, I have a couple options here. I have the shade extension from Tower 28 of the Bronzinos. They came out with, I think in total they have 5 shades, so they launched 3 more. So I don't have the 2 deepest colors. I have Sun Coast, West Coast, and Gold Coast. West Coast was the lighter of the original 2, and this is what it looked like here. And I don't know if I'm going to use these today because I also have the new Casino Sunkissed Bronzing Cream from NARS. This is what it looks like here. I'm surprised they didn't launch more shades in this. Usually NARS is pretty good with their shade ranges. I don't know what's going on there. And they also launched this here, which is the Summer Solstice Cheek Duo. So it has a highlighter and a bronzer. But look at that imprint in there. It's beautiful. It looks like it smells good. And it does. It smells like Hawaii and Hawaiian Tropics sunscreen, plumeria, and a good time. I'm going to swatch the NARS cream bronzer here. Let's see what would suit me best. There it is. I'm gonna swatch everything, all the bronzer colors, so why not? I'm now swatching the powder bronzer from this duo here, ooh, which is very, very soft and very glowy it looks like. You can barely see it. Right there, which looks very soft and airbrushed. That might be a vibe for this very softened base today, or the Tower 28 ones. I'll swatch these as well. So here we have West Coast. Looks very deep. This one right here almost could work as a highlighter for me right now, possibly. That one is Sun Coast, and down here is very, very yellow, is Gold Coast. So here are all the bronzer options. What to do, what to do. I think I'm going to go for this one right here, and I might layer a little bit of this one on top. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to keep the Tower 28 ones when I'm using a skin tint. I feel like this skin is too perfected for this kind of a glowy, summery skin vibe. So I feel like this one is the most appropriate. I don't know. So let's try it out. And once again, I have the shade Casino, which looks very, very intimidatingly dark right now. I'm not immediately wowed by that. I do enjoy how blendable that was, but it looks kind of pinky. Maybe I'm just turning red because of my sensitive skin. Let's see. I think this shade is definitely too dark for me. I don't know, it's like weird. It looks pink over here, orange here. Oh my god. It really reminds me of the Huda Beauty Tantour texture-wise. Very blendable, super pigmented, and kind of a soft matte finish. Oh my god, I'm just like painting my whole forehead. This is not good. I'm just going over the edges with the foundation brush I used today, just to add a layer of that foundation again, kind of calm it down and erase my mistakes. That got a little crazy. Okay, I'm just gonna not even dip into it again on this side. So be warned, this stuff, a little bit of this stuff goes a very, very long way. I don't know, what do you guys feel about this? I'm undecided as of right now. It's kind of growing on me, but I don't know if that's just because I applied more foundation on top of it. I mean, the color actually looks nice now from what I'm seeing on camera. And same here. Maybe my skin was just getting irritated underneath. I don't know, confused. And just because I feel like I'm bronzed enough now, I'm going to save this for a different video. I could have used the highlighter, but I really wanted to test out the highlighters in these things from ColourPop. It's the cheek palettes they just launched with. This is Sugar Frosted, and this is Extra Glazed, which is more pinks. I actually am kind of interested in these. I really like how they're blush palettes with a highlight, and they're all shades that you can use. Sometimes with cheek palettes you get a variety of deeper and lighter tones, and sometimes you're not able to pull it off, especially if it's just for your personal collection. So this is interesting. And the highlighter is the Super Shock formula. So when I first got these in the mail, they kind of were popped out. You can kind of see how it's kind of popping off the pan, but it's really easy to just like squish it back into place. I'm going to be using the highlighter from the Sugar Frosted cheek palette. It has more of a golden shift, whereas this one has a peachy pink shift, and it's quite a bit icier. Here, I'll swatch them side by side so you can see. This one right here isn't my vibe, whereas this one looks a lot more natural on my skin tone. Looks more glossy, whereas this one is just too icy for my liking. I'm going to apply it with my favorite highlighting brush, the Moda Glow Brush. I haven't used one of the Super Shock highlighters in a very, very long time. Oh yeah, that is nice. Very soft candlelit glow, kind of, you know? It's not too out there, just softening. This one's a nice one. I have tried some of the Super Shock highlighters that have had a lot of chunky glitter within it, but this one doesn't. It's just the nice hydrating sheen. I really like it. It's like a cream powder hybrid. Very, very interesting. So that's exciting. I was going to use the blushes in this palette here, but I looked over and I forgot I received this thing in the mail. Very questionable. It's the Bite Daycation Whipped Blush. They launched 4 shades, and the 4 shades that they launched with are kind of interesting to me. I feel very unsure about this product here. I'm not a huge fan of the packaging just because it's a squeezy, and when you open it up, just wait for it, it looks like a peen. There's one angle when I first opened it, I was like, that's a tip. And this is just like a weird packaging. Like, I don't feel like you're able to get whatever's in here because you have to squeeze it really, really hard to get it out. Like, okay, there we go. Once you get near the end of this bottle, like, how are you gonna get the rest of the product out with this shape at the top here? I have a lot of questions. I admire that they were trying to be different with this packaging. No, I have the shade Coconut Rum. I don't know, this shade range to me feels very, very light, and it's like a sheer blush. This goes for $32 USD, 42 Canadian, and 50 Australian. I feel suspicious, you guys. I do. I gotta be honest. This is the deepest shade that they offer out of the 4. There it is. You can see the base tone, and then you can see it's like very, very glowy. It's almost matching the glow that the ColourPop highlighter has. I'm going to use this brush. It's a Smith 115. So this model in this photo here is wearing Melon Mojito on her cheeks and Coconut Rum, which is the shade I have on here, on her eyes, and it looks like a highlighter on her. So I'm just not getting an inclusive vibe from this, and I don't know. I mean, it does look pretty. It's not glowier than the Melt Cosmetics blushes that have some glow running through them, the cream ones. I don't know if I'm vibing with it. I don't know if I connect. This is a cute color. It's not accentuating any of my texture. It's a little bit shimmery. Like, I do see the pearls, like they look like very microscopic glitter instead of like a smooth pearl. Tough to say on that one. I don't vibe with it. So before I do my brows and eyes, I'm going to apply some of the Professional Super Setter long-lasting makeup setting spray. I've had this in my collection for a while, and I don't believe I've tried it. I've definitely spritzed it because it has a fun atomizer. It's like intense but super fine and wispy. Misty, I guess. So let's go for it. Oh, I don't even feel anything. It feels really nice. Wow. This one says that it helps to lock on makeup, softens the look of pores, and feels weightless. I definitely opened my mouth a little too early and I got a taste of it. Does not taste great. Feels really nice. Doesn't leave any droplets on my skin at all. That was a really refreshing experience. Okay, so now I'm going to do my brows off camera, prime my eyelids. So while I'm off doing that, please enjoy the intermission. I actually wanted to mention, I have been trying out the NARS smudge proof eyeshadow base with no color. It's just the see-through version, and it's completely different from the tinted version that I tried a couple months back. That really did not work for me. This one seems to work really well. It's still too soon to see how it compares to the Fenty one. I just thought I'd mention it. It doesn't do any of the crepey thing or the texture enhancing thing at all. It's just very smoothing. So that's exciting, and it also feels quite waxy. So for my eyeshadow today, I received these alongside of the ColourPop cheek palettes. These are the small eyeshadow quads, and they look super cute. I have the shades Cream Soda, which looks like this, and Citrus Fizz. Very cute. I think I'm going to start off with the shades from the Cream Soda quad, because I feel like these are like my go-to ones. These ones have like more peachy, pinky vibes. Let's go for that. I'll probably do something very simple and soft today. Let's just see the quality of these. I'm going to start off with the Smith 232, and I'm going to dip into this lighter shade right here. And I'm going to put this in the crease, which I don't know if it's gonna show up on me. I believe they launched a bunch of these. I should look it up in a second here. Okay, they launched 5, and I have the 2 more neutral leaning ones. There's like a pinky peachy one, cooler toned one, and a coral version. Okay, so not as many as I thought. So now I'm going to dip into this shade right here. I'm actually gonna throw this one into the crease. I might dip into the other one actually, because this is a lot lighter than I was expecting. Like, they don't show up true to color from the pan, so just be wary that these are a lot lighter in color. I'm gonna hop back to this one. Just kidding, I lied, and I'm going to use this deeper color here. This is a Smith 247. Ooh, this one feels really high quality actually. It's really adhering to my lid nicely and diffusing effortlessly, but it's still sticking in place and building up nicely. This feels like the ColourPop I remember. The other 2 shades from the other one, not so much. I think they were just too light for me to see, you know? I'm kind of digging the all matte eye today. I might continue with that. I was going to layer something on top, but I don't know if I want to do that anymore. I'm swatching the shimmers that are in this palette, and they feel very loose. Like, I feel like they could have been harder pressed. Like the more glittery ones, like this feels like a satin, and this one here has more chunky glitter in it, and it's not adhering to my skin very well. It's very flaky, and like a lot of stuff kind of falls out even just on my hand. So I don't know about these. I'm going to carry on with that deeper color and I'm going to throw it all across my lid. Like, this is a really nice matte shade. Really, really pretty, and it works really well. I'm just going to wipe that brush off and dip into the other quad on the lighter shade just to diffuse the edges here. And for my inner corner highlight, I'm going to use this shade right here. Oh wow, very, very intense. I feel like with these shimmer shades, I just really pressed it into my palm here. You really have to add a lot of pressure for it to apply smoothly, and then it's actually really pretty. Maybe if you used it damp, it would be a lot better, but I feel like they're quite loose. But other than that, I think this eye look is really nice and soft. I love the color. I don't know if I feel very excited about these quads, if I'm being honest. So now I'm going to quickly curl my lashes, apply some mascara, and I'll be right back. So here are the eyes all complete. I won't lie, I do really love the looks of it. The mascaras I ended up using were the Bite Beauty Upswing mascara for my top lashes and the M Cosmetics Pick Me Up for my bottom lashes. It's just a nice everyday look. Can't go wrong. So now let's move on to the lips. For my lips, I have some new products here from Huda Beauty. She launched new lip contours. They're the Lip Contours 2.0. They came out with 12 shades. Here they all are on the info card. So nice variety of nudes and some reds and pinks. I received all of the nudie colors for my skin tone, and she also came out with the Power Bullet Cream Glow lipsticks. There are 14 shades in total, 7 pretty pink colors in sweet nudes and 7 spicy brown nudes in bossy browns. I received a mixture of a couple. I have 3 here. So I swatched the lip liners as well as the lipsticks. So let's start off with the lipsticks. This one right here, which is the one I'm going to be using today, is Raja. The one in the middle is Gold Digger. This one right here is Habibi. And now for the lip liners, this one is Honey Beige. Beside that is Warm Brown. This one's Terracotta, and the last one here is Sandy Beige. I'm going to use the Sandy Beige lip liner. I feel like that will add some nice dimension with the lip color. These feel entirely different from her original lip liners. These are a lot better. They're easier to apply, not so dry. They're far creamier, and they actually diffuse and don't dry immediately. That's a deeper color than I was expecting, but I'm not mad at it. Now let's apply this lipstick. And again, I'm using the shade Raja. I think that suits all of the tones of this look. It turned out pretty monochromatic. The lip liner is a little deeper than I was expecting for this look, but I'll roll with it. I think that's nice. I wasn't a huge fan of her matte version of these lipsticks. I found them to be too drying and too texture enhancing, but this formula is a lot more comfortable and I like the glow running through it. I'm always down for a glowy lip. So there we are. Those are all of the products I'm going to be using today. I'm just going to quickly gather my thoughts and then I'll give you guys my first impression thoughts on all of the new products I tried out today. Okay, so I'm going to be going through everything in order of application. So of course, let's start off with the foundation. I think my skin overall looks really, really nice, very smooth everywhere except for around my mouth. It looks very dry around here. That could be because of the powder I added, could be contributing to the dryness around here. But other than that, my skin looks very, very smooth. I remember loving the original Total Control Drop Foundation, so I'm excited to have this back in my collection. I'm going to have to use it a few more times before coming up with my final opinion because this foundation has only been on my face for probably like 2 hours. So we'll see how it goes. Overall, for this foundation, I feel really excited about it. I love how customizable it is and affordable it is. I think it's a fantastic thing that they brought to the market. And for the hue shifters, I think this is a great thing to have on hand. I'm excited to see how this works with other foundations as well. We'll see if it only pairs well with this foundation here, if it can be compatible with other foundations. I'm gonna have to test that out this month. But I think this is a really great product to have for your personal collection or for your professional kit. I feel overall really excited about that whole foundation range, and I look forward to using it again. So before I move on, I'll give you an up close look at my skin so you can see what I was kind of talking about. So can you see it just looks so velvety and just smooth overall, even though I don't have the smoothest skin right now because I have been a little bit stressed, so I have some acne going on. But you can see around my mouth here that it's a little dry looking, but nowhere else does it look like that. So we'll see about that. I'll for sure continue using it and update you in my roundup. Moving on to the powder, I actually don't mind the way it looks now. I think the setting spray really helped, but in the center of my face, I think it looks really, really nice. I didn't like how it felt tightening though. I usually stay away from those kind of powders. I don't know if it is comparable to my love I have for the Pat McGrath loose powder, but this is another thing I'm going to have to continue trying out. We'll see about this one. I feel like that's all I can really say about it right now. Packaging wise, I do wish that the sifter was a lot smaller so I could get a controlled amount instead of having this messy amount come out, but that's just me being picky. So now for this NARS Sun-Kissed Bronzing Cream. I actually don't mind it. I find that it's a little too similar to the Huda Beauty Tantour in my opinion. It feels like the exact same product, just in different packaging. And this one does have some fragrance to it, but I do prefer the Huda Beauty one just because there is a variety of tones as well. I'm gonna have to try this out again, but I think it was just too deep for me and a little too pigmented, so I just had a really messy, hard time to apply it. But thankfully, it's a really nice blendable formula that it blended out nicely and it sheared out as well with ease. It just took a lot more time than I would like. So we'll see about this one. I'll continue using it. What do you guys feel about this? Moving on to the ColourPop face palettes, I did notice something small, but if you are someone who carries a makeup bag, I don't know if these would be great because they're not very secured. Like this one, every time I tap it very, very lightly, like it just popped open by itself. I don't know, you can just tap it and it comes open very, very easily. So if this was in your makeup bag, this would be a disaster. So it just doesn't clamp down right. Same goes for this one, like every time I pick it up, it's open. So I wish it had a better snap or closure. With that being said, I only used the highlighter out of one of them. I haven't used the blushes yet, so I'm going to have to use these in another video. But for the highlighter, I think it's beautiful. I love how it's not glittery. I love how it's more on the natural side too. It just like blended right into my base and just looked very nice. But I'm excited to see how these blushes perform. You shall know very soon. Moving on for my blush, I forgot I used this today. I don't know about it. I don't think I can vibe with this. I really admire that they were going for something very different and out there. I just can't help but feel like this is a very cheap feeling packaging, and I don't like how phallic it looks too. I don't know how this would be in the long run. But speaking on the actual product on my cheeks, I don't think it's bad. I think it's fine. I don't feel excited about it in any way. I feel like this would be a blush that just sits in my collection. I feel like I would reach for a lot of the other ones I have in my collection that I love a lot more. I don't have the feels for it, you know? And I do wish that they launched a lot more shades of different depths and tones as well, not just pinks and like a tan color. I think for this blush, you could totally pass up on it. It's nothing too special, it's just a fine formula. For the Benefit, the Porefessional Super Setter Spray, we'll have to see how it holds my makeup together. I'll have to use this. I'll keep it on my desk, so this is the only setting spray I'll use this month, so we can thoroughly test it out, but it feels really nice. I love the atomizer, and the scent is not too strong at all too. Let me smell it again. It's very, very soft. Compared to a lot of my other setting sprays, this is on the softer side, which is nice if you're sensitive to scents. I really love how soft of a mist that is. It felt so nice. But that's all I can say right now. I'll have to test to see how well it locks in my makeup. I don't know if it softens the look of my pores. I don't know, my pores look pretty soft with the powder today, as well as the foundation. I feel like I look so smooth. And now moving on to the eyeshadow quads I used today. I think These are actually really cute colors. I feel like they're nothing revolutionary to the market here, but I am happy to have them, especially for the matte colors. Like, I am really in love with this color I used all over my eye. I'm just not sure about the shimmer formula that's on this side of the palette. This one right here, the chunkier formula. I'll have to try it out on the actual lid at some point to see if what I'm feeling is true, but we'll see. I feel like these are fine as well. I'm not the most excited about these I've ever been, but if you have picked them up or if you're looking at them, I don't think you'd be disappointed in them. It's nice to have these smaller palettes on hand, especially if you need to get out the door and you don't want to have a full palette that you get lost in, because I know that that happens to me all the time. So it's nice to be constricted to these tones. I think the quads are well thought out, like each shade serves a purpose and they're not too similar to one another, like they'll actually add depth just depending on your skin tone. Like this one was a bit too light for my tone, but this one right here works a lot better. I think they're good quality, I just don't think they're revolutionary or that exciting to me. And finally, for the lips. So for the lip liners, I'm actually a lot happier with this formulation, and the packaging is a lot funner too, because you don't have to sharpen these. It's actually mechanical, I just realized that. And I think this formula feels a lot smoother, and it's just overall easier to use compared to her older formula. They're creamier, easier to slide across your lips, and they don't dry down right away, so you're able to smudge them out and diffuse them out so it's not as harsh of a line. I really look forward to these colors. I might have to pick up some of the other funner colors because these are all just very similar to one another, but I'm happy with them. Okay, so finally for the Huda Beauty Cream Bullet Lipsticks. I feel really good about these. I think these are my favorite lipstick formula that she's come out with. I love the glow running through them. I like how they're not too thick or texture enhancing. I don't know if I have a favorite color out of the ones I was sent, so I'll have to look at the actual shade range online after. But this formula feels nice. It's not gloopy or sticky. I love the shine. It feels very comfortable and it feels quite lightweight on the lips. I'm happy she came out with this formula because the tones of her original matte version of these were beautiful. I just didn't get along with the formula. I can get down with this formula a lot more. So I think those are all of my first initial thoughts on all of the new products I tried out today. Let me know what you guys think. Have you tried any of the products I used today? I'd love to know. But I think that is all for me today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video and found it fun and helpful. If you did, please give this video a like. It would help me out so very much. I'll make sure to link all of these products I used in the description down below as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Love you. Bye!